What is human design? It's basically a decision-making tool. It's a roadmap to your life. It's a and it is on this plane of reality. An individual being walking around, we are patterned. We have this vehicle that we're riding, basically. When you know the rule of your vehicle, you can let go of the wheel. You can be like, who we are is the watcher of the vehicle. This is the vehicle. And some people's vehicles have no roof. They're convertibles. Some vehicles have no doors. Some people don't even have a vehicle. It's a reflector. But they're still a vehicle in a way. They're a mystical vehicle. And there's some vehicles who have all their roofs and all their doors and all their lights and all their, that's all that means.
Stereos.
Yeah. And that's the only difference. It's not that, oh, this person is more likely to awaken than this person, or this person doesn't have a choice. Life will be easier. And it might take time to drop down from the mind into the body to know that, to feel that. But that's the goal, basically, is to drop down from the mind, become more of a passenger of your life, and really see what you're resonating with. And you may not know right away. Before, we used to be a world of slaves and victims, but today we can be watchers and creators. We will cover your type, which is your aura type, strategy, signature, the not self theme, the inner authority. We'll probably have time to do the centers. Right. 4 types of human beings, that's what we call it. There's manifester, generator, and manifesting generator, that are usually combined into one group. Projector and a reflector. So the manifester starts things off. The generators respond with a sound. I'll explain. The projector waits to be invited, and the reflector watches. So generator types are here to respond. So whereas manifestors are here to inform, generators are responding. They're responding to whatever is happening in their environment. And their quest here is to ask, who am I? They're here to know all about themselves. That's their journey. Then we got the projectors, and they're here not to inform, not to respond, but to wait for an invitation. Reflectors, they're, like I said, for them, they have to wait for a whole lunar cycle before any major decision is made. And their quest is to know who everyone else is. You guys are going to learn 2 most important things about your type, your strategy and your authority. Manifestors. 8% of the population, 9. So they are basically the lone wolves of the world. They're meant to be here on their own trip. You're not meant to tell them what to do, just inform them. They don't even like questions. Are meant to inform and to be informed, either by what is happening in the environment, by a person, whoever. If they don't, just anger, frustration, you can't get what you want, you have to always do what other people tell you. A lot of manifestors are conditioned to work like generators, but they're not meant to do that. They're meant to start things off, whatever they see, and then impact and go and leave. That's their job here. But a lot of them are trained or conditioned to work hard like generators, so they don't even know that about themselves. So a lot of manifestors, they're these angry bulldozers walking around, still with the aura, repellent aura, but working like dogs. And generator types, we are a ball of fire that attracts everything to us. We're the magnetic force, so we don't need to go out like manifestors and make things happen. It will come to us. Everything is available right here. On that point, for things to respond to, don't look for things to respond to. That's initiating. Whatever is already happening right here, right now. Whatever is happening in your current reality, in your current environment, in your...
Quick question.
Yeah.
Do generators often have a guilt trip if they're not initiating?
Yes. Yes. That is a major thing. That's a very good question. Yeah. Yes. Generators are the most uncomfortable not initiating. They're the most... If I am not initiating, then I'm not living, I'm not moving, I'm not making things happen, I'm not.
Right.
It's the most frustrating place to be. But so yeah, so no chasing, and everything comes to you. See what's approaching you. See what's already coming towards you. Those are the most powerful things to respond to. Something is approaching you. It's like we're just here to do what we love, a lot, and that's all. Like he's fast. He will destroy and build very quickly and probably be the wrong thing. So that's a manifesting generator. So we really have to test it out. What did I write? Yeah, so basically this is the steps we have to. We have to respond, just like generators, whatever's coming towards you, we have to test it. Then we have to envision it, reprocess, inform like a manifester, and then only then, if we're still getting act. And then once that happens, there's nothing stopping us. So projectors are 22% of the population. They're here to be recognized for that one thing that they do so well. Whatever, like if you're looking for a surgeon, you hope it's a projector.
What about being in a household when you're young and you're not recognized, you're just ignored?
Yeah.
Do projector children feel that the most, hence they go into the bitterness of
Yes.
growing up that way?
Oh yes. Yes, project. And then the invitation could happen from within. It doesn't have to be the invitation, from without. It could be from within, it's like I have a calling, that phrase, like I have a calling. That's the invitation. Yes.
So for me, there are kind of two things come up. One, since I learned I was a projector, 8 years ago, I realized that waiting for an invitation, I all of a sudden began to view life as, I just have a cornucopia of invitations. My job is to really decide what's the best invitation.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
And,
You can watch cues for manifestors in order to help and facilitate the world. So they're kind of looking at manifestors, okay, what are they noticing? What are they seeing? What are they impacting? How are they impacting? How can I help? I think a lot of us, we feel that if we don't, we're going to miss out.
Mm-hmm.
It's a miss out syndrome that we all have. And but what we're really missing out is being who we are. It's like and really living harmoniously and correctly and in peace and joy and success. All that, that's what we're missing out on, and then we're always chasing that. Reflectors, we talked about a little bit. They're very rare. They have a sampling aura. They have to let everything roll off them. Basically, as you can see, nothing is defined. There's nothing defined on their chart. They're not meant to hold on to anything. Their basic strategy is to wait out a whole moon cycle. Their sacral is lit up and they can work really hard. And then for that one day, they work really, really hard and I must be a generator. But they're just picking up that generator energy that one day. And then the next day rolls around and that's not defined anymore. And then their head is defined now. So now they've got all these ideas swimming around but they can't work on them because it's all up here. And so then they wait another day and then their emotions are defined. And then suddenly they're feeling creative and they're feeling all this. You see how that works? So they kind of have to go through that. And for us, for the rest of us we kind of have to treat our open centers in the same way. We can't look to them for decision making. They're meant to just be observed and watched. That's it.
So if a reflector's disappointment, is pretty much a signal for the rest of us to recognize that we're not being in our self-thing.
The reason that we're creating chaos in the world is because we're not we're not acting from our correct selves. So we can't fix anybody else. We can only look to ourselves and see what part we're playing. So your authority, that's the next important thing, is what should I do? How can I know when it's the right thing? How would I know if it's the right time? That's the biggest question. You have this authority, you can only trust your feelings, basically. Your truth is in the feeling, it is never in the now. When you're feeling down, it's time to retreat, go within. So there's nothing wrong with that. We're not. The worst thing you can do as an emotional person is try to cheer yourself up when you just don't feel like it. You have to wait according to your design, but then you have to wait some more as far as decisions go if you're an emotional person. You're waiting for clarity, basically. You're waiting for clarity. If there is nervousness in the body, and I can attest to this, I have that's what happens to me. If there's nervousness in the body, the decision is not ready. It doesn't mean it's a no, it just means it's not ready.
Is that the same as excitement?
If it's super excited and you haven't waited 3 days or at least a night, yes. Yes, waiting for the emotions to settle. Very good. It's don't make decisions on the high or a low. A lot of emotional people get excited about something and then it's automatic, yes, I'll be there. Yes, I'll do it. And then you're like, gosh, why did I say that? And same thing with the opposite side. You know, feeling depressed, it's like no to everything. And you're like, oh, I should have done that. So we're not meant to make decisions on the extremes of our wave. It's never going to be 100% because it's a wave. It's like this. You'll know when it feels right because you'll be able to see clearly between two extremes of the situation. Things will start dropping away. The environment won't support it. That's the thing. That's what's so beautiful about this whole thing. It just won't support it. It's like if it's not correct, it's gonna be gone. There's no decision to be made there. Like all of the decisions that we think we have to be making, it's all in our head. You know, just like drop down and just live, enjoy. You know, that's why it's good to sleep on things. That's why it's good to wait 3 days. And the bigger the decision, the longer you should wait. And if you don't have a center defined in that area, that means you have to wait even longer. That's just so that can help you know, well, which issue is it. And we'll talk about centers and I'll tell you which one deals with what. You know, if it's a money issue, then this will be the spleen. If it's a self issue, it will be the G center. And then go through the body graph. This is what Ra downloaded, is that we expanded, basically. We went from a 7th chakra being into a 9th chakra being. So that's why it looks strange like this. Well, Reiki chakra.
Right.
It's pull the whole thing off. So you should not follow your open centers for any kind of decision making. They're simply to be there to be watched and observed. They're not you. It's all that stuff you picked up over the years and are holding on to. And they're not healthy for you to hold on to. You're not meant to fix anything there. Not meant to do anything about it. Just meant to watch it and let it go. And all the obsessive self-talk that we have, it stems from the open centers. So head center. Having an open head center, that's the area of the pressure to think. There's 2 pressure points in our bodies, the head and the root. That's one of them. And it fuels your ability to think through things. Questions, doubts, issues, problems are all happening in the head center. If you have it defined, it means you have the ability to have inspired thought, you have a unique perspective, you can use your thinking as a tool, you're more likely to differentiate between your thoughts and somebody else's thought. The only danger is that confusing the thinking for who you are. G center, that's your self-identity. This is how you view the world. It's your direction, your love, your behavior. If you have that defined, then you are behaving, expressing love in a consistent way. Your behavior is consistent with who you are. You have a clear and stable sense of yourself. You kind of have a fixed identity. It's moving in a fixed trajectory in the physical plane of life. You just have to watch the tendency to pressure people with like, well, you should behave differently, or you should know who you are. You should know, what direction is right for you. Because those of us who have this defined feel it so distinctly in ourselves. We feel everyone should. But if you don't have this defined, these people don't really know. They don't know their direction. They don't know. They change with the environment. They are not consistent in themselves. Ego, heart center. It's interesting that the ego and heart, they combine together and how that's connected. So this is the home of your willpower. This is the energy center that expresses the will to do something or not. It's all about will here. So if you have a defined will, making commitments and promises is healthy for you. You will have the will to back it up, you will have that strength to back it up. But you have to be careful not to push those of us who don't. And most of us are 70%. So you guys, the defined people are 30%, the undefined is 70%, and we feel this pressure all the time. All the time. This is the pressure to make commitments under pressure. This is the prove and improve ourselves. I have to prove something. I have to improve myself. I have to do something. And this is where all the heart problem starts. And that's why it's connected to the heart. Because we're constantly making commitments that are not correct for us, or making commitments, period, without any room for backing up, backing away from it.
I have a question about that. So the part about the not my will but thy will be done, is that talking about like giving in to somebody else's?
No,
Okay.
not somebody else's, but your trust in the higher self, let's just say that.
Okay.
Give in to that. Don't give in
Okay.
to somebody else.
Gotcha.
But
Okay.
just trust that, it's not you, it's
Okay.
not, like a lot of the self-worth issues that might come up, that's not yours. You're just picking up everybody else's, and then
Right.
feeling like they're yours, and then amplifying them.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
that is. So longer investments for open spleen people is probably correct. Here's an investment advice for open spleen people. Anything that's open, longer is better. The angles, the personality profile, and the cross, they're all related. And this is, that's the part that comes from the hexagram. It has to do with your destiny, personality, fate, and karma. And so it's kind of like, once you know which angle you are, it's seeing and accepting your part in the flow. Right angle people, they're the personal destiny. They're living out personal destiny. So you're here to kind of find what your trip is. Way of being, you need to discover what you're meant to do, and that becomes your fulfillment of your destiny here. So you have, if you're left, you have the ability to alter other people's movements through life, as well as have your own movement changed. So every person you meet has not only a value to you, but a karmic connection. So stuff like about the right way for you to make money, what you're meant to do in this life, all that will be activation point, and it will be in this book of letters, which is the original book Raoul who wrote for his first students that I got lucky to get in my hands.